An arrest has been made in the shooting death of an auxiliary bishop in Los Angeles. Now, the shooting took place on Saturday. Police say it happened at around 1 p.m. local time. Sheriff deputies say that they found the 69-year-old suffering from a gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Bishop David O'Connell ministered the migrants, the poor, and victims of gang violence. He had spent 45 years in South Los Angeles. The news has shocked the faithful from across the country. Archbishop Jose Gomez said in part, quote, that we are deeply disturbed and saddened by this news, adding that may the Blessed Virgin Mary help us in this moment of sadness and pain. Bishop Robert Barron said in part, quote, from the moment I met Bishop Dave, I was struck by his goodness, kindness, faithfulness, prayerfulness, and simplicity of heart. He is a constant source of support, encouragement, and good humor. And joining us tonight is Dan Cellucci, CEO of the Catholic Leadership Institute and friend of the late Bishop O'Connell. Dan, first of all, welcome and our heartfelt condolences to you. Obviously, this is still a developing story, and it's an extremely tragic one at that. Your thoughts of the news of the bishop's death?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. My condolences to the local Church of Los Angeles and really the Universal Church. It's a great loss for us all.
Now, you had the chance to work with Bishop O'Connell. Tell me about his interactions, your interactions with him and as a priest and the man that he was.
Yeah, I was talking to some of my colleagues earlier today, and we were just reminiscing about the days where we got to work with Bishop Dave, really in support of his brother priests in the Archdiocese of Los Angeles. And one of my colleagues said it best. She said, he was easy to miss, but impossible to ignore, a deeply attentive man, but never attention-seeking. And I think that really just captured who Bishop O'Connell was for so many in the church.
Yeah, let's talk about Bishop O'Connell's work out there at the Diocese of Los Angeles. I understand that he worked with so many of the migrants, the immigrants, the minorities out there, and also the gangs. He was also known as the peacemaker, was he not?
He absolutely was. And I think one of his brother priests who I was talking to said it best. He said, Bishop Dave loved the Lord and loved the Lord's people, especially those who were hard to love. And I think that's maybe the message that we take with us from his legacy of leadership and ministry was that in those moments with folks who have hurt others or hurt us, Bishop Dave was always one to move closer to them and to try to bring the Lord's healing to them. And I think that's what I'll always remember about him.
He certainly had an uncanny ability to be able to reach people, did he not?
He absolutely did. He from our experience with him, he was one who never took himself seriously or too seriously, always kind of got to the heart of the matter and always tried to put kind of personal preferences aside for the good of the gospel. And so I think just in a number of different ways that made him very accessible, very warm, and people just wanted to be around him.
Now, have you heard anything more about the services of what's going to take place?
I have not. Obviously, we've been watching the news like everybody else and just still really in a moment of shock to think about that this has happened to one of our great leaders in the church.
Well, Dan, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to speak with you. And again, from all of us here at EWTN, our condolences go out to you and everyone else out there.
Thank you.